Welcome back to NCRA Live as we continue to preview now the Saturday Breeders' Cup races. Randy Moss along with Eric Wing. They changed the order of the Breeders' Cup races, so we've already done the sprint, as you know. So the four races remaining are the mile, the dirt mile, the turf, and the classic. The dirt mile, a particularly good race, so they bumped it down there into prime time, so to speak. The mile, no Breeders' Cup horse. Let me flip that. No horse has ever won 3 Breeders' Cup races, much less the same race 3 times. And Goldikova has a chance to become the first horse ever to do that. She won the 2008 running of the mile. She won the 2009 running of the mile, both at Santa Anita. And now she returns to Churchill Downs to try for a three-peat. We'll have Zenyatta trying to win her 3rd Breeders' Cup race, and the classic as the climax of the afternoon. Goldikova, one of the real superstars in worldwide racing. You can argue whether Goldikova or Zenyatta should have top billing. Those of us in America, of course, think that it should be Zenyatta, but Goldikova would be a very close second. She is a remarkably talented mare who has faced the boys she's beaten the boys 7 times in her career. Paco Boy, another horse coming in from Europe, second on the Mike Watchmaker line. Gio Ponte, they're still tossed up, I guess, still trying to decide whether to go in the mile or the Breeders' Cup Classic. And some other horses you see that you've probably heard before. Also rounding out a very, very good field in the mile. Now, a little earlier today, Eric Wing ran up his long-distance bill and called trainer Freddy Head of Goldikova over in France.
Okay, we're joined now by Freddy Head, who's with us from France. Freddy is a 2-time TVG Breeders' Cup Mile winner as a jockey aboard the Great Miesque, and he's also a 2-time TVG Breeders' Cup Mile winner as a trainer, of course, with Goldikova. Freddy, welcome. I understand that Goldikova is in the air en route to Louisville as we speak. Is she as sharp and as strong at age 5 as we Americans have grown accustomed to seeing her the last 2 years?
Well, listen, I'm very happy with her form. Last year we had been beaten in that prep race. This year we won it, and this year it's been a very, very good year. She's won 4 out of 5. I must say I'm very pleased with her condition.
Freddie, no horse has ever won 3 Breeders' Cup races of any kind. What would that achievement, if it comes to pass, mean to you and to the Wertheimers?
Well, you imagine, I mean, for me sometimes it's even frightening because I'm thinking, I say, no, that's not possible. It seems impossible to have been the rider of Miesque, and now to have this still in training. It looks sometimes too good, but of course for me it's a great moment. I mean, I'm leaving a dream. And the Wertheimers are the same. I mean, they're breeding they have a very big operation, and they just breed to have horses of that caliber. And to come across a horse like her, it's very special.
And Freddie, of course, this year's TVG Breeders' Cup Mile is at Churchill Downs rather than Santa Anita. Does the change in venue change anything in your mind as far as her likelihood of winning?
No, not at all. What I hope the going's not going to be too soft, but it's about the same racetracks, and you know she handles a lot of different tracks, and there shouldn't be any problem.
And Freddie, one of Goldikova's opponents in the mile is Paco Boy, who you've beaten 3 times this year, but by narrow margins each time. Is he the horse to beat in your mind?
Well, of course, Paco Boy is a real champion and a very tough horse. I suppose he'll be the one to beat, and of course you have to count on Gio Ponte too if he runs, because he's at home, and you know it always takes a little steam when we travel. We come from so far. It's always a little harder. So, but. It's going to be a tough race, you know. No race has won before, and then we'll see. We'll take it. We've played by ears.
And lastly, Freddie, we Americans are so excited about the Breeders' Cup here with Goldikova and, of course, Zenyatta. What's the mood over in Europe? Are the European racing fans as excited about Goldikova's quest for a three-peat as much as we are here in America?
Oh, absolutely. You know, here she's a real star, and in France, of course, everybody's waiting for that moment, and she's so good. And on Hard Day, I mean, she stole the show because I think the arc came after that prep race that we won, and all the fans are waiting for that race. And on top of that, I think it's going to be a very, very good Breeders' Cup this year because there's a bunch of real champions.
Well, Freddie, one thing's for sure, win, lose, or draw, you and your mare have made racing history. We wish you and your horse safe travels here, and of course, the best of luck a week from today in the TVG Breeders' Cup Mile.
Well, thank you so much, and I'm looking forward to be with you.
Former world-class jockey, now world-class trainer, Freddy Head. Now, I actually shifted my picks a little bit here. Moved Sydney's Candy up to number 2 and Paco Boy down to number 3. And here's why. I mean, Goldikova has run against Paco Boy 4 times. Has beaten him all 4. It's usually close. Beaten him by a length and a half, a neck, and a half length in their 4 separate meetings. But Paco Boy, when running in England, is 10 for 15 lifetime. When running elsewhere, 1 for 7. And by far the worst race of Paco Boy's career was in Dubai, in the Dubai Duty Free of 2009, which also happens to be the only time in his career he's ever run on a course in which he turns left. Finished 8th in that race. So I'm worried about the shipping. I'm worried about the left-handed turns as opposed to the straightaways or the right-handed turns. And so therefore I'm putting Sydney's Candy up in the number 2 spot because of the awesome way that he won that race at Del Mar. The layoff doesn't bother me at all. Goldikova, though, clearly is the horse to beat here. And so let me redo my top 5. Goldikova, Sydney's Candy, Paco Boy. I actually moved the filly as I looked at this a little more proviso up ahead of Gio Ponte and put Gio Ponte 5th. My top 5. Eric.
Well, that's a great point about Paco Boy that I hadn't picked up on earlier. So thank you for that. This under the radar, I mentioned a horse, Rose Catherine, who I liked in the turf sprint, and I'm kind of using similar philosophy, if you will, with a horse that failed to crack your super high 5.
The usual QT.
Correct.
Aha.
Okay, now, without question, Goldikova should be the sentimental favorite. And I love the point you made about Paco Boy. On paper, factoring out the shipping part, to me it's not a certainty that she beat Paco Boy necessarily, just based on the 3 times they raced against each other when they were close. So maybe Goldikova isn't invincible. And if the usual QT, I think she moved prematurely. He moved prematurely to the lead last time. He really brushed almost like a harness horse from 8th all the way up to 1st last time in the Woodbine Mile, and wound up getting caught late by Court Vision. Oddly, the trainer had to talk his owner into running in the Breeders' Cup. The owner wanted to run in the Cal Cup. James Cassidy wanted to run here, and I'm with Cassidy on this. If you go through her races and just look at the 2-turn grass races that she's run, which Woodbine would not be, which a turf sprint at Oak Tree would not be. If you just go by her 2-turn grass races, she's a perfect 8 for 8. And as a long shot, that works for me. And I think he's got the quality to begin with anyway. He's a grade 1 winner, so you're not asking for a big step up in class here. You are asking him to defeat perhaps the mystique of Goldikova.
And it certainly is not, is definitely not unheard of for horses to make premature moves in that turf course at Woodbine. The stretch is unbelievably long, and so it's very easy for a jockey to sort of misjudge when they make their move if they're not experienced riding at Woodbine. Victor Espinosa certainly doesn't have that many mounts over the Woodbine turf course, so that wouldn't be unusual. All right, so that's the Goldikova, certainly the horse to beat. Maybe not invincible, but she is going to be one of the big storylines on Breeders' Cup Day.